Hello guys, welcome to today's vlog. I'm not quite at the place with my stability in my neck or instability in my neck where I can read physical books. So all the books I read are audiobooks, and I actually found in December 2022 that my local library has an app where you can borrow audiobooks. It does work as like a library system, like if somebody's got the book out on loan, you have to reserve it and wait till they return it until you can borrow it, and they only have a certain amount of copies. So it does have its downfalls there, but I don't have to pay for it, so I can read more books than what I can with Audible. So I'm just going to share with you the books that I read. So I started listening to the Rosie series earlier in the year, the Rosie Project, the Rosie Effect, and the Rosie Result. So I read the Rosie Project earlier in the year, and then in December I read or listened to the Rosie Effect and the Rosie Result. And I really loved this series. I thought it was really sweet, it was quirky, it was different, and it basically just follows the story of a man, Don, who is portrayed as being neurodivergent, and his quest to find a wife. And he wants to find the perfect wife. It follows his project through that, and it really follows, like, it's written from his perspective, so his thoughts and his perception of the world around him, some of the issues he faces in his daily life and socializing with other people, and then it kind of follows his life into the next two books, and it's just really sweet and beautiful, and I think it's got a lot of good messages in it, and yeah, I'd really recommend it. I don't want to tell you too much about the second books because I don't want to spoil it, but I really enjoyed it and I would really recommend it. And then I listened to the Tomorrow series. So Tomorrow When the War Began was one of my favorite books when I was a teenager, and but I'd only read the first book. So I saw that the whole series was on this app, so this library app, so I listened to the entire series of the week to Christmas to New Year's, and so I listened to like pretty much one book a day, and I'll tell you which books are in the series. So there's Tomorrow When the War Began, The Dead of Night, The Third Day the Frost, Darkness Be My Friend, Burning for Revenge, The Night Is for Hunting, and The Other Side of Dawn. So there's 7 books, and yeah, I pretty much listened to one book a day, and it was really good. I generally avoid like violent books. I don't like people getting hurt. So there were a couple of bits that were like, but generally it's written for a young adult audience, so it's pretty good. And it's set in Australia, and it follows the story of a group of teenagers who go away to a secluded part of Australia to camp, and they're kind of in this really hard to get to place, and while they're camping they hear all these planes fire over one night, and then they joke about it being the beginning of World War III. However, when they finish their camping trip and go home, they find that all their parents' houses are uninhabited and an invasion has begun. So the book kind of follows them tossing up between whether they stay secluded or whether they join the war, and it's a really good series. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And as for non-fiction, I listened to The Art of Getting It Wrong by Stephen Miller, and he and his wife Amanda Miller are on YouTube. I'll link them down below. They're the Miller family. They're one of my favorite families on YouTube. I really enjoy watching their vlogs, but I really also appreciate how genuine they are with the message that your mistakes don't define you, but they can refine you. And he basically talks about some of the big mistakes he's made in his life and smaller mistakes too, and what he learned from them. and it's a really good book. I really like how honest and genuine it is, and he reads it himself, and then there are like these little bits at the end of the chapters where he's like podcasting almost with Amanda, and I really love Amanda. She's really sweet, and yeah, I like hearing her point of view and her input, so yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's all the books I listened to in December. I had cancelled my subscription with Audible because it's a bit of a difficult financial year. And then like later in December, that's when I found the app. So things got a lot better once I found that a library app, because earlier in the year I was kind of just listening to books. I had already my Audible library, which is fine. It just means that like I'd listened to them a few times, so it was nice to listen to some new books in December. Like all the books I listened to in December were new to me except for that first book in the Tomorrow series. So I really appreciated like that, just that nostalgic, comforting feeling of like reading a book and like finding out what happens and meeting new characters, and yeah, so I really enjoyed it. And then we're in January now, and I'm reading some more new books, so I'll be excited to share that with you guys. If you'd like to continue following me and hearing about my books, feel free to consider subscribing, and if you would like YouTube to notify you when I post, just make sure you click the bell and select all, and that way it'll give you a notification when I post. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. That gives feedback to me to say that you liked it, that you'd like to see more of these sorts of videos, but also it helps my channel grow. So I hope you guys are hanging in there. I hope that you had a good week, and I really hope that this video was of some value to you. So bye!